organization. He had one appearance earlier this year. Didn't go great, but we're going to see him again today.
And I think he realized this game's not easy at this level, and I think he realized very quickly as he's climbed through this ladder, he had to come with other weapons. He had to learn how to pitch a little bit, and in his start against the Dodgers, 6 runs, 10 hits. He walked 3, which is very unusual for Eddie. Normally he's around the plate a lot. And as I went back and watched starts in Tulsa this year, and I saw about 6 of those starts after getting sent down, he started to work on the curveball, add the changeup, some other things in the secondary, started to pitch, and it was 90, 92, 93, and when he needed 95, he went and got it. So I think that's where Darryl Scott has played a huge role in preparing him for the opportunity to be able to pitch at this level.
And he's working on, from what we've been told, getting that consistent arm slot back that was so evident a year ago with that power sinker. Well, we're going to take you down to the field right now. Trevor Cahill, super sinker baller, is going for Arizona. Mark Stout is with Tommy Runnels, the Rockies bench coach. Mark?
TR, tell me a little bit about Cahill and how you've structured the lineup because of the way he pitches.
Well, Mark, definitely left-handers hit Cahill a lot better than right-handers. The splits are incredible, so we put all our left-handed hitters in the lineup today.
Let's hope that works. We go back upstairs to Drew and George, guys.
All right, sounds like a good plan. Right now, it doesn't matter who the Rockies put in the lineup. They are swinging the bats. Look to continue that this afternoon. More to come in front of first pitch, the Rockies and Diamondbacks. .49 runs over their last 3 games, 61 hits. It's been something to behold as the Rockies have moved a game ahead of Arizona in the NL West. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies have returned to their winning ways at home over their last 20th and Blake. They are 15-5. It's kind of how they started the season.
It was, and they played very well at the start of the season, and after those games Drew's talked about, those last 20 at home, It's been special. The batting average near what we like to see, 340, obviously, and then the home runs. That's what's incredible to me. 36 home runs in 20 games. I mean, what's the opposition going to do? You're averaging 7.5 runs, and it hasn't come against teams in last place. They damaged some very big ball clubs, beating the Dodgers 2 out of 3. And what they've been able to accomplish, the team ERA at 4.96. You'd like to see that a little bit lower, but the opposition average at 2.82, a big difference in what we've seen.
Yeah, you'd like to see the ERA lower, to be honest with you, but the Rockies have done so well offensively. They have won 3/4 of their games over the last 20, and they look to finish strong. Final 2 home games of 2014. Rockies and Diamondbacks. Eddie Butler on the mound this afternoon. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Inova Cancer Care, taking a novel approach to cancer care. Learn more about prostate cancer treatment at InovaCC.com. And by Southwest Airlines, without a heart, it's just a machine. Eddie Butler taking a deep breath and making his way to the Coors Field mound, as he will get his second big league start this afternoon. Ender Inciarte, who's had an impressive rookie year, will lead things off. Let's take a look at the rest of the Southwest batting order for Kirk Gibson. David Peralta, who had a pinch hitting appearance yesterday, has been out of the starting lineup the last several days with a back ailment, is in there in the 2-hole this afternoon. A.J. Pollock is swinging it well. Then Trumbo, Montero, Owings, Jake Lamb. A couple hits last night. Didi Gregorius again at shortstop in front of Trevor Cahill. So Eddie Butler, one of the better pitching prospects in baseball, to the hill. See what he did in Tulsa. For more on his numbers, brought to you by Inova Cancer Care, non-surgical treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com. Here's George again.
Well, as you climb the ladder at the minor leagues, you run into a lot of opposition. Then you get to the big leagues, you face that same thing. In 61 career minor league games, he was 22-19 coming into this year with a 265 earned run average. Now, since July 12th, that was the end of the season for Butler, to now, he had 48 2/3, 51 hits given up, and earned run average near 6, 29 strikeouts. He's not a big strikeout guy yet. You know, Drew is 100% right when he made the comment, top prospects in all of baseball because of the dominant sinker. But what he found out, I've got to go back and invent a curveball. I got to come up with a changeup, something to keep him off the fastball when I do make a mistake with it. And I felt, Drew, when he made his last start against Frisco, and I watched him go against Chichi Gonzalez, a kid that I was familiar with in the #1 draft pick. It was like a heavyweight battle. I mean, it was great. Gave up a couple of runs in the first 2 innings. The next 5 looked like Sandy Koufax. It was good.
Well, he didn't pitch well in the championship game against Midland, which was his final appearance with Tulsa. Gave up 5 runs in 5 innings, but as a lot of guys do, they raise themselves to their level of competition, and hopefully the product of Radford University in Virginia, Eddie Butler, will be able to do that. Here's the gloves behind him this afternoon, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Blackman, Dickerson, Paulson in the outfield. Benson right, Enoa, Rutledge, Adames getting the start at second. Justin Morneau at first, and Michael McHenry will catch Eddie Butler.
We have an umpire timeout that ran down the Rockies dugout. He'll be right back.
Just a little bit more on Eddie Butler. Last year he was really dominant. In 2013 he had an organizational best 180 ERA, and that was at 3 different levels. He finished the year in Tulsa, and he was very impressive, in fact, in Tulsa. In 27 2/3, he gave up only 2 earned runs, an 0.65 earned run average. They say he's had trouble maintaining, George, I want to explain this, the arm slot that he had in the past, and so he's lost some of the sink on his fastball.
Well, I think part of that, Drew, what you're talking about is he's tried to get too much elevation on top of his arm, and so the arm was raised quite dramatically, to be honest with you. I mean, the arm was extremely high here instead of getting into this arm slot and not trying to get almost over the top of his head, because he was trying to create so much sink with the baseball. So it's more in that relaxed spot where the ball's really going to come out, have the tail and sink. It's just a matter of keeping the ball down in the strike zone consistently. The stuff's there.
Well, exciting opportunity for all of us to watch Eddie Butler pitch this afternoon. Ender Inciarte and our home plate umpire Mike Everett ready to go. And the first pitch is low, ball 1. Perfect day for baseball. 77 degrees the temperature.
You'll see him now work more at 90 to 92, 93 miles an hour. And I mentioned in the open, when he needs to go get the extra, it's there to get.
And that pitch is lined to center field. That's now a 9-game hitting streak for Inciarte.
And I think the one big thing you've got to overcome too as a young pitcher, and it's no different than, you know, a kid that's 15, 16 years old that's on the mound. When you have struggled at this level, instead of going to the mound and you give up a leadoff single going, uh-oh, what's going to happen next? You go, I'm going to give me a ground ball double play. I'm going to make a pitch right here. I'm not going to let this happen. And it's just more of an attitude and makeup issue that you've got to get through as a young player. All of us struggled as young players trying to get through that.
Peralta making his first start since September 5th. In many ways, he's been their best offensive player the last few months, especially without Goldschmidt available the last month plus. Got to go 1 with that. Butler throws out Peralta. Moving into scoring position is Inciarte. A.J. Pollock will be next. A reminder, in the 5th inning, we do Toyota Talk. Do it every day of the year. Tweet your questions using the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll get to as many as we can. Again, that comes out your way in the 5th inning. Pollock 7 ribbies over his last 8 ball games. And the 26-year-old takes high and tight, ball 1. We saw him in spring training, and he had an electric fastball. What I mean by that, not necessarily 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, he threw it mid to upper 90s, but it had dramatic movement on it.
It's like a boat anchor.
I mean, spring training game we saw, George, he sat on 96 with heavy sink.
Well, part of that is too. It's the length of the season. That's why you see a little bit of the velocity change. But in that, again, what he just threw there was impressive. He was down 1-0 on a high fastball, comes back with an 85-mile-an-hour changeup. He would have never done that 2 months ago.
Challenged up there, and it's 1-2.
One of the hardest things for young kids that are hard throwers is not to look at the scoreboard. You know, what do you mean? Well, the radar gun. You know, you'll see a lot of guys throw a pitch, boom, they look immediately up the radar gun. Ah, it was only 93. I thought that was 95. That starts to take over. The velocity does versus the pitching and pitchability part of it. I think the hardest thing to realize too when you get here, guys don't chase. You know, unless you got them in an 0-2 count, you throw a breaking ball in the dirt in the middle of the plate, but they're not going to chase off.
Most of them don't.
You know,
the good ones don't.
At this level, you know, and you get in Double A, you get some chase on some balls in the dirt. You chase on high fastballs.
Good pitch there. Got it in the kitchen. Eddie gets a pop up to shallow center, and good catch by Charlie Blackmon. A lot of guys converging. That's always a dangerous play. You got outfielders with their backs turned, their heads up in the air trying to find the baseball. You got an outfielder smoking in with his head up in the sky. Seen some nasty collisions through the years.
Well, that's where you got to have really good ears. And if Charlie's yelling, I got it, then you bail out of the way and let him take control of the ball.
So important. I mean, it is paramount. We've said this for years and years, George. Paramount at this ballpark. Not to just have one. You got to have three guys that can really run.
You have to. It's the Ponderosa. Named it that in 1997. Watching games in here, it was just a huge outfield to cover.
Mark Trumbo takes high, ball one. I think Mike McHenry will be a nice guide for Eddie Butler. He's got a little more seasoning behind the plate. He's a guy that really takes a lot of pride in his defensive work, and that's not suggesting Willeen doesn't. Willeen has worked very, very hard the last couple of years at improving behind the plate. But you know, Michael's a little bit older. Give him an opportunity with this young kid to handle him.
Well, I think Michael did a good job guiding him through it in the respect of pitch calling, location of those pitches.
That's nice right there.
Really nasty.
1-2. That's nice,
give it away,
Corey.
Sully. Don't put it in your pocket. That a baby.
Thought Corey was going to put that in his pocket.
Yeah, me too.
Caught enough baseballs.
He ended up giving it to his daughter. That was nice.
And a good pitch and a ground ball to short. That's a good start for Eddie Butler. One thing you need at any level is confidence. Good inning for Butler. Charlie Blackmon leading off against Trevor Cahill. Charlie swinging the bat well. He had a 5-hit performance a couple of days ago. 1 for 4 last night. Here's our Southwest batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Walt Weiss has written out the following names. Josh Rutledge will follow Blackmon, Morneau, Dickerson, McHenry, Paulson, Enoa, Adames, and Butler. You heard Tommy Runnels during our open tell Mark Stout, and they loaded up on as many left-handed bats as possible. And you may be saying, Michael Kadire drove in 7 last night. How can he not be in the lineup? Well, they're giving him a day. He'll be in there tomorrow. You can almost guarantee it. In lifetime, Cuddy was just 4 for 22 against Cahill, who has much better splits. There's Michael. Much better splits against right-handed hitters than he does lefties.
Yeah, right-handed 221, left-handers 337. That's why they loaded this thing up with left-handers today against him.
Give you an example. Morneau, who's a couple doors down, is 5 for 8 lifetime with a home run against Cahill. Charlie Blackmon leading off 4 for 9 against Cahill. There's a good sinker right there. Some more numbers brought to you by Inova Cancer Care, non-surgical treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com.
8 games, 6 starts at Coors Field, 2 and 3, 3.79 earned run average. The Rockies have hit 270 against him. Look out, 270 against him. Overall this year, 30 games, much better, Drew, as a reliever than has been as a starter. As a starter, 15 starts, 2 and 9, an earned run average over 6. In 15 games as a reliever, 1 and 2, 3.04 earned run average. Been much better out on the road this year than he was at his home ballpark, where he's 1 and 6 with an ERA near 7. Out on the road, 2 and 5, an earned run average of 3.86.
He's become a little more of a nibbler this year than in the past. He could challenge with that super sinker when he won 18 games with Oakland, finished in the top 10 in the Cy Young race a few years ago. And this ball is sharply hit, and Lamb comes up with it. 1 out. Diamondbacks defense brought to you by Excel Energy as well. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Inciarte's in left. A.J. Pollock's in center. David Peralta is in right. Lamb, Gregorius left side. Chris Owings, Mark Trumbo on the right side. Miguel Montero get doing the catch. They've played good defense of late. They have not made an error in 5 straight games. Just 9 errors in their last 30, which is tied with the Atlanta Braves for the best run defensively in baseball over the last 30 ball games. Rutledge has had success against Cahill. Josh 6 for 17. Rutledge looking to finish strong. He's got a 352 September average.
Things getting a little interesting in Chicago. The Dodgers had a large lead, now 7-6 in the 8th inning.
That's a pretty good play right there by Trumbo, laying out, taking a hit away from Rutledge. 2
really good plays in their infield, Lamb and then now Trumbo. Both balls have been hit very hard, but on the ground. Trumbo 1-step dive and got it into the leather, got back to the feet, beat Rutledge on the race to the bag.
So with 2 outs and nobody on, Justin Morneau will take his turn. Justin was 1 for 3 yesterday. Tight batting race in the National League. Rockies trying to win back-to-back titles with different players. If Morneau were to win it, he'd be the 8th different Rocky to win a batting title. Here's our Hyundai League leaders. Josh Harrison currently at 318, Morneau at 317, then McCutchen and Revere 309, Posey at 308. Revere obviously had a good day yesterday to move up to 309. Philly just underway in Oakland. Still strange getting used to final weeks of the season, and you still have interleague play.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, once Houston went to the American League to balance everything out.
Yeah, big game in Houston today too. Dallas Keuchel pitching for Houston. Chris Young pitching for Seattle, and they're all right there. These last 8 games are going to be something special.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirates playing well. They have Milwaukee, who's really fallen. That's a base hit. Good start for Morneau. That'll help the old batting average. Well, the last few days, hopefully you're taking advantage of Taco Bell's generosity. When the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locales the next day, 4 to 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Live Moss at Taco Bell.
This is where Cahill has struggled. With nobody on base, the opposition has hit .204. Runners on, 366. That's a big jump.
This ball toward the gap off the bat of Dickerson. It's going to run to the wall. Morneau long striding it. He should score. Stu Cole sending him home. It'll be a triple 1-0 lead. Colorado. Corey Dickerson. Just like that.
I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the defense of the Diamondbacks, this could have been a bigger inning with the play at third and the play at first. And now Corey Dickerson going opposite field on a sinker on the inner half of the plate and driving it out in to the left center field and allow this Morneau to take off to the races. Once it got back all the way to the backside of it, as you see Corey, everything out in front of him, make that turn at second, knows he's got the triple easy. Morneau's easily into home plate. Rockies are now 28-7 when they score first at Coors Field. So that'll be nice if they can carry that and make it 29.
Inside on McHenry. McHenry's never faced Cahill. Well, his offense has been electric. Last 4 ball games, 49 runs, 61 hits.
How would you like to come in as an opposing pitcher and face all that? It's crazy.
I think if you're a Rocky fan, if you're a Rockies player, you say, this is awesome. Let's figure out a way to score 4 on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in Kansas City, it's a 3-2 lead right now for the Detroit Tigers. They held a 1.5 lead coming in. Joe Nathan's on the mound. He's got 1 out and 2 men on.
Wow, that looked like it was off the plate. McHenry called out by home plate umpire Mike Everett. Rockies get a run. Single by Morneau, triple by Dickerson, 1-0.
As we go top two, Eddie Butler making his second start. I asked Walt Weiss before the game today to tell me the one thing that Butler has to do on the hill, and he said establish the two-seamer.
Have everything work off of that. That's who he is. He's a guy that throws a hard, heavy sinker, and you know, with secondary pitches, he can mix in after he establishes that. But I think he's got caught up this year trying to decide whether, you know, to throw two-seam fastballs, four-seam fastballs. He made it more difficult than it needs to be. So just attack hitters with that two-seamer and go from there.
George, I know you got a chance to talk to Eddie yesterday before this start, and I know you've seen him pitch a lot. Did he get a little caught up with too many pitches?
Well, I think he just got caught up with, to be honest, talking to him privately was a lot of the headlines. You know, you think you're something that then you come to the big leagues, and it's a humbling experience, that first start. And I think that he felt like, hey, I got to go back and get busy on a lot of things. And I think the biggest thing was adding the curveball changeup and having the command with his arm slot with the movement of his fastball. I really do. And I think that that's the biggest improvement I saw from when he first came back to Tulsa to the very end of Tulsa.
Left that pitch up, and it's blocked into left field by Miguel Montero for a base hit on an 0-2 delivery.
Yeah, and you know what, Drew? That's a difficult pitch for a sinker baller, and that's what I was. It's a difficult pitch to throw down and in to a left-hander, because a lot of times you can see where this pitch do. It ran back to the middle of the plate, elevated about chest high on a Mike Shaw Supermo. That's a difficult pitch for sinker ballers to consistently get on that inner half of the plate. Very hard to do, just because of the run on the ball.
Down low on Chris Owings. Owings continues to swing the bat well against the Rockies in his rookie year. .377 average against Colorado pitching. Hit .410 here at Coors Field. See if Butler can get a ground ball. It's a ground ball, but it's foul.
He got what you asked for.
Yeah.
Just supposed to go to a white shirt, right?
Yeah, it's got to go between the white lines. One. Center field, pretty well hit, really well hit. Charlie runs it down. Great catch. Montero was at second, waiting to see if it would go over his head. He has to return to first, so long out off the bat of Owings.
Yeah, the Mike Shaw Supermo, it's all about concentration, knowing your ballpark and your field, run to the spot and make the catch. That one tried to crawl out of the end of the glove. Good job by Charlie. He's had to make a running catch coming in. Now he's had to make a running catch going back to the wall.
Jake Lamb hitting .385 over his last 7 starts.
They're starting to see what they saw at the minor league level.
Big numbers at the minor league level. He had .327 between AA Mobile and AAA Reno this year with 15 home runs. He drove in 84 in just 108 games. He's got a pretty swing. Lamb's out of the University of Washington. Cubs have taken an 8-7 lead on the Dodgers. Giants got blanked last night in San Diego.
The final, Kansas City 3-2 Detroit. Kansas City could not score with runners at second and third and 1 out. Well, the playoff picture is getting a little crazy, isn't it? A lot of teams still able to bounce in, get into the playoffs, get into the wild card, 1-game playoffs.
This is a double play ball. There's one, and there's two. Nicely done. So Eddie Butler gave up the leadoff hit to Montero, got help from his center fielder Blackman, and then got a 4-6-3. Rockies have a 1-0 lead, middle of 2. Nothing after one offensive series for the Rockies, if you will. Now here comes their second offensive series. See how that works? Get 9 of them if necessary at home. Hopefully it's not necessary today. Ben Paulson is going to lead things off against Trevor Cahill. What a night for Michael Kadire yesterday. He had a grand slam, and then he would come up with the bases loaded in his next at bat, and he would line a double to the wall in left center field. That cleared the bases. 7 RBIs, a new career high. His previous best was 5. He now is hitting .335 with 9 home runs and 29 RBIs in just 43 games.
You put him and Morneau back-to-back in the lineup, there's going to be a lot of damage done.
And they hit home and road, too. They hit home and road. And this year, RBIs in a game, Lonnie Chisenhall of Cleveland drove in 9. That's the high water mark. Then Cuddy with 7. Nelson Cruz has had a huge year for Baltimore with 7. J.P. Arancibia with Texas 7. Ryan Braun early in the season drove in 7 against the Phillies. One and 2 count on Paulson. Getting another start in right field. Walt's run him out there a few times now. That's strike 3 on the inside corner. And Paulson kind of glares at Mike Everett and walks off. Close.
Well, this is that sinker we talked about where Eddie was trying to get it in on the left-handers and pitching to the body. Remember last night we were able to use some different videos about how the umpiring views that. You can see that pitch right on the black corner on the inside corner. The veteran, it's ball 3. With the rookie, it's strike 3. I really don't think much of that goes on.
Stay fair. Stay hot. Rafael Ynoa. 1 out double for Ynoa.
This league's easy.
It really easy. He's hoping the manager taps him on the shoulder and tells him he's going up to the next league.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm telling you what, this young man has come up and put on a show both offensively and defensively, but his average is sitting at .432 now, folks. I mean, he's swung the bat very well. A lot of RBIs, 5 on the season, and he slices this double down into the corner. Stays fair by about 3 or 4 feet, rattles around. He ends up at second.
Yesterday, he was a home run shy of the cycle. 60th Rocky to fall a home run shy of the cycle. I don't know where Dougie got all these numbers, but he went to work on them. 224 times the Rockies player has been a triple shy of the cycle. That happens obviously a lot. 28 times a double shy. Only 9 times a single shy. Yeah, couldn't throw out the single, had the double, the triple, and the bomb. Christian Adames. Michael Kadire last month hit for the cycle. Inside on Adames. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Adames hit .288 between AA and AAA this year. 52 RBIs. I know he came up with a big home run for Tulsa in the playoffs to extend it in the first round. With over 1,000 innings at the big league level, ground ball percentages, Hudson leads it, and that's not surprising at 58. Cahill is 4th, 55, almost 56% ground balls.
One ball, 2 strikes. Cahill working on Adames. A ribby out there for Adames after he knows 1 out double. Eddie Butler's on deck. Rockies got a run in the first with 2 outs on a Morneau single and a Corey Dickerson double to left center, or excuse me, triple to left center. They're not picking up that sinker. That's the 3rd backwards K in the last 4 hitters.
A lot of movement, late movement, and it ran right back to the middle of the plate. Adames felt like it was going to stay in. It didn't. And that's part of not ever seeing Cahill or knowing what he has to feature. We'll take a look at this pitch one more time as you see this ball run right at him. See the hands give up and quit on the ball. That's strike 3.
A lot of dramatic late movement. Butler takes strike 1.
Not fair. And I guess he didn't go to the pitcher's code meeting. All rookies get fastballs first count. He went hard slider, but he goes back to it again too.
0-2 on Butler. Yeah, he did. And Cahill with that breaking ball strikes out the side as he gets Eddie Butler. Enoa left at second after doubling 1-0 as we go to the 3rd, Colorado. leading Arizona 1-0. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout. And it's very nice to be joined by Laura Donis, who is the recipient this year of a very special award from the Rockies, the 2014 Colorado Rockies Adult Leadership Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was this a big surprise?
It was very, very big.
Because you have to be nominated for this.
I know.
Now, what kind of work do you do in the community that kind of stood out?
Well, first, I'm a nurse, and I'm very passionate to help our community or any communities. And then I'm Hispanic, and I'm really big on helping and providing education support to others.
One of the things I read about you is you have a group that you take. You're a big outdoors person, and we live in a perfect state to be an outdoors person. You take a group hiking every weekend, is that right?
Yes, I take a group of women to hikes, and then we do health topics to help them with anything they might have questions about.
Well, I also read that your congregation at church, being bilingual, obviously helps a lot. But you also have the home health care program that you started, and I think that's wonderful.
Yes, we have several nurses. I'm the only bilingual nurse, and then we all help out with any little issues or questions they have.
Well, you immigrated to the United States from Mexico when you were 25.
Yes.
So you've been very busy.
Very, yes. Going to school for 10 years for sure.
Working as you were going to school. That's tremendous. So who told you that you won this very prestigious honor?
One of the nurses that I am friends with.
Was that the same person who nominated you as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that had to be a happy day at the hospital or at the church, wherever it was that you found out. That was a fun day for you.
Yes, very exciting.
2-2 the count on Didi Gregorius, and he just gets a piece of it.
Man, 14 years coming over 25. That's some determination to reach the goal that you wanted to get. That was a long road and a hard work.
Very long, but there's a lot of resources in the community, and I think people need to be aware of that.
And take advantage
Yes.
as you have. With learning English so well, how long was that process when you first arrived?
It was very long. I knew I had to go to take ESL classes and work really hard in getting my grammar, just to study.
Right. Now, do you work at a healthcare facility? Do you work at a hospital?
I work in a clinic Family Health Services.
Okay. This is popped up and in foul ground. The catch is made. Very nicely done by Rafael Inoa. So what plans do you have for the day?
Well, I did my hiking for the day with the group, so I'm excited.
I'll
go home and celebrate.
Hike? We love to hike.
I know.
It's a women's group only,
Oh,
Joe. We
okay,
were
I'm
not
sorry.
invited.
Nah, I understand.
I'm sorry.
I know. I totally understand. I probably wouldn't have made it anyway. I might have made it like the first 2 steps, and up the hill, and I'm going to have to come back down. Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, that's neat that you take them out, and I'm sure it's educational for them as well as for you.
Yes, I always learn from them too.
Trevor Cahill at the plate, and Cahill lines one to right at Ben Paulson. 2 outs. Well, Laura, first of all, congratulations from all of us at Root Sports, from the Colorado Rockies. What a wonderful recognition of all your hard work and determination. Well done.
Thank you, guys, for having me.
And I'm glad the day's beautiful. You're going to enjoy the ball game and have the rest of the afternoon to enjoy. Thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, again, that's Laura Donis, and she becomes the winner this year of the Rockies Adult Leadership Award. It's the 12th year of the award program, recognizing individuals who are doing grassroots work in the Hispanic community. Thanks, Laura. Ender Inciarte is at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on for Eddie Butler in the third. Rockies up 1-0.
Well, if you're wondering, Wilson was the guy that gave it up. Brian Wilson for the Dodgers. 2/3, 3 hits, a couple of runs. One of those a home run. One of those 3 hits.
On the ground to second. Christian Adames comes and gets it, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning for Eddie Butler. The third will be the top of Colorado's order, led by Charlie Blackmon. Let's take a look at our Steel Tea Heating and Air Cool stat. Never a trip charge for repair, $69 value. Steel Tea, the T stands for trust. Go to steeltea.com. Rockies got off to the great start, as everybody knows, really home and road. 16-7 their first 23 at home. And then everything fell apart amid injuries and poor play, and the Rockies went 11-23 at Coors Field. The good news is they're finishing strong at home, but the equation, George, there's 22 years now of data. It's not going to change dramatically. You hope one year that you go out and win 50 on the road. The high water mark's 41. So in reality, the Rockies, they have to be a low to mid 50s winner here at Coors Field, and then hold serve somewhat on the road. If
they have to.
Think about it. If you win 55 at home, which they're capable of doing, it's happened before. I mean, they dominate people here. You do that and go win 35 on the road, which is not great. It's 35-46. Nothing to write home about. But given the Rockies' issues, that's 90 wins.
Exactly, and that's what you're going to have to look for. That's what you have to shoot for as a ball club. And I think, you know, realize, okay, this is what we are out on the road, but at home we've got to win 55 games.
Got to
win 55 here, we got a chance. But you can't go out and be 20-55 on the road.
No,
you can't do it.
No, it's obviously got to be much better than that.
If you look right now at the division, folks, and I know there's 7-8 games left for a lot of these teams, but Los Angeles has 88 wins. San Francisco 84 wins. Very attainable if you play halfway decent out on the road. St. Louis 86 wins. Washington, one of the better teams in baseball, 89 wins.
Well, if you're talking about 88 plus wins with the additional wild card, George, you're always going to be in it. You're going to have a chance.
Well, you look at Los Angeles. I mean, the Angels just going off. 95-59. There's one other team with 90 wins. That's Baltimore, 92-61. A lot more parity in baseball now because I think pitching stronger, so the hittings, the strikeouts are up. And I think it was smart to add the one-game playoff. It just adds more chances for a team that missed by one game. And that's why it's so important. You say a lot of times, why are they holding teams on these rainouts? Well, that's why.
Well, it adds so much drama because more teams are in it in the month of September, and also adds really a couple of Game 7 scenarios very early in October. This ball's crushed to center field by Blackman's got a chance to get out. Nope, it's going to short hop the wall. Charlie to second, and he's heading towards third. He'll have a triple. Second triple of the ball game for the Rockies. Dickerson had one in the first.
I really want Charlie to have 20 home runs and over 74 RBIs just because it sets up some records for him. Third triple for Charlie on the season. And he got just what he wanted. He got a ball up in the strike zone. It appeared to be a breaking ball at 82 miles an hour. And took it to slightly off center. One of the deepest parts of the ballpark, but that's 20 feet to the right. He's in a soft jog instead of a sprint, but he's at third base. You got Rutledge up, who hit a shot right at Trumbo. Good chance for the Rockies here. Guarantee you this run gets across.
Just to go back to what I was saying, in early October when the two wild cards meet, those are 2 Game 7s. You
Exactly.
win, you move on. You lose, you go home.
But it's nice that it's there and the opportunity to move on instead of both teams going home.
Listen, you played a long time, but one of the greatest games. This ball's hit well to center. This one will get the run home, maybe more. In fact, it'll get Josh home also. Rutledge to dead center. A 3-0 Colorado lead. They've now homered in 21 straight. 21 straight at Coors Field with a home run.
And Rutledge has been as hot as anybody, 352 in the month of September, and it's only going to climb after that at bat. And his average now at 268. Home run number 4, RBI number 32 for Josh Rutledge. And when I turned and looked at A.J. Pollock in center field, he took 2 steps and stopped. He knew that ball was gone.
Yeah, you see corner outfielders do that. Rarely do you see a center fielder say, well, that's gone. You don't have many no-doubters to center field.
Boy, had a pretty shot. Leaves from the crowd into the blue sky and back to the crowd.
First home run for Rutledge since July the 20th. Justin Morneau up, and he hits this ball to deep right, and it is not handled out there by Peralta. He may have lost it in the sun. It'll be a double for Morneau.
You kind of saw that coming on the flight of the baseball. That Peralta, when he got back on the ball, he started to squinch and he started to crouch down, if whether he was going to see this ball or not, and how far it actually carried to the Rockies bullpen. But as he got back on it, there was no chance. I mean, it was like a self-defense. I'm going to stick my glove out and think it's right there. He even closed his glove as the ball went by his glove in the outfield.
Mike Harkey out visiting, 2 for 2 for Morneau. 31st double this year. The Rockies have only one single in the game. Justin had it in the first. They have 2 triples. They have 2 doubles. And they have the home run from Rutledge.
Look at this on a Subaru right now. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Look through. He thinks he's going to catch it. He closed his glove. He was guessing where maybe the ball might be.
Dickerson makes a big cack and fouls it back. Correa triple to left center field. So there's the sun. And now David Peralta's out there. He lost it in the sun. You ever tried to catch a fly ball where you're battling the sun and you lose sight of it? It's a scary feeling.
Yeah, trying to put his hand up, trying to block and let the sun out of everywhere, and then guess what? Able to make not a catch. I thought it's kind of, you know, he just kind of guessing where it was. He's closed the glove to see if he could find it.
Yeah, usually guys duck at the last second. He gave it his best effort. Said, I hope it lands here. Who came and visited you, George?
My daughter. I was all excited. Georgia hadn't been for a while. I told her to sit on my lap. She hadn't done that in a long time. Boy, you better hurry, Justin.
Trying to move up, and he got there. And he stayed on the bag. So Dickerson moves him to third. Yeah, I turned around. I was shocked. There was Georgia.
There's
Georgia. You wasn't there 2
yeah.
seconds ago.
Yeah. Yes, he's hiding again. Uh-oh, Georgia. I think they're going to put you on camera. Here, come back. You know, I know you don't like to do this, but come here anyway. You never found a camera you didn't like, right, honey? That's exactly right. Morneau tags and makes the shot. Gets into third base safely.
Even in your 20s, you can sit on Dad's lap.
That's right. Santa Claus.
Mike McHenry
right?
at the plate.
Yeah. Santa Claus. It's always great to have a family. See, George, I told you.
She knows more about camera and is better suited,
yes,
far better suited to being on than we are. All right,
you're 100% correct. That's right.
How you been? You doing well, Georgia?
Now you're going to ask her questions, and then she doesn't have a microphone on, and
well,
here we
she's
go
going to talk into your microphone.
No, that's not good TV. Let me bring this down for you.
I'm going to officially, because I did through your dad. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to officially congratulate you on this runner-up in Oklahoma.
Thank you. Yes,
that's unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I got $9,000 more in scholarship towards graduate school, so
Dad was really happy about that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, it's great. She was
sing on, darling. Sing on."
Yeah.
She was runner-up Miss Oklahoma, but guess what? $9,000 less that I have to pay at NYU next year.
Yes.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
McHenry with a 1-2 count. Rockies already up 3-0.
Well, again, nasty pitch from Cahill. Remember, he got him on a strikeout on the outside corner on a fastball. This pitch in the dirt, late break and a late reaction. sometimes you get a little too anxious at the plate with one out and a runner in scoring position to try to get that run across, get the 4th run across in the game.
That's down the line foul. So you were trying to take that headset off, but I have to ask you a really important question. I asked this on behalf of our crew.
Oh, goodness.
Right now. How concerned are you and your mom that George is actually now going to be home full time for 6 months?
Oh.
Breakfast is good.
Well, I don't live at home anymore, so I don't really get to put up with him that much, or don't have to put up with him that much.
You better be careful. Better be careful.
But no, it's always nice having him home and cooking meals.
Wow, that was a politically correct response.
He's a good cook. So
see, there you go.
There's a lot of grease involved when he cooks, though, right?
Yes, yes.
A lot of heartburn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right.
Cholesterols go up.
Yes, it does.
Cholesterol levels go up.
I told Georgia she's an American citizen. She has a car payment and rent. It's perfect.
Yep.
And mom and dad's house not far away.
That's exactly right.
Not that far.
See, Georgia, you show up, they score 2 runs. It's nice.
You ever popped in the old VHS tapes of your dad pitching?
Yes.
Why are you laughing so hard? What's so funny? I'm missing something here.
2 outs. That'll bring up Paulson. What'd you think of the mustache?
It was interesting. He likes to bring that back in the winter when he's home. So I'm not a huge mustache fan, but I think he can pull it off.
Listen, some of the pictures your dad sends me in the off season when he's in a deer blind.
Oh, yes.
I think they actually were removed from the post office wall.
That's about right, too. I mean, starting tomorrow night at about 6:05 will be the last time I shave till March, so it'll be good.
Unless I have an event. I make him shave.
She has an event. I got to
Bat or don't claim him.
Yeah,
right.
I've done that a few times too.
Yeah,
So
we have also.
Yeah, that kind of goes around over the course of time. That's exactly right.
Paulson with a bloop that is going to drop, and the Rockies get another run. Justin Morneau scores run number 4. Ben Paulson has his 8th RBI.
Take it any way that you can and drive in the runs that you can. And Paulson takes one off the fist and is able to do it.
All right, we won't give you the 5th degree anymore, Georgia. Thanks. Great to see you.
Good seeing y'all.
Can't tell where she's from, can you, Drew? Thanks, y'all.
She's got a little of the Oklahoma twang in her.
That's exactly right. Man, here, he's going to fight off a hard sinker on the inner half of the plate. The bat breaks, but the ball doesn't, and that's the best part about it. Looped into the outfield, and the run will score.
Oh, thank goodness for Kay. Because usually people like to say the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. And in your case, obviously, it was 100% K.
Absolutely.
Look out. That's what happens when you get 5 hits over 24 hours.
They take the feet right out from under you. Yeah, another look at this pitch, trying to throw the fastball in, overamped and caught it in right on the thighs.
Seven hits for the Rockies in producing their 4 runs. Two and 1. Noah doubled down the left field line his first time up. Center field, sliding over is Pollock. That will end the inning, but the Rockies scored 3. Triple, 2-run homer, double, single in the inning. 4-0 lead as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Time for you to tweet us your Rockies fan photos. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto for a chance to have it seen during a game. Brought to you by AT&T.
How about this? Kenny Miller, who I've worked with since 1980.
Already read it.
Did you? Said, finally a Frazier worth looking at on TV. Thanks, Kenny.
That's basically what I said.
We all said that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I agree with you.
I threw myself in there.
Hey, I agree with you.
Yeah, we all agree. I don't know how you, looking at you, produced that, but bless you.
Tell you what, got to marry right, pal.
Yes, you do. I know.
And in this wonderful baseball world, they're the ones that raise everybody, too.
There's no question about that. In fact, I was just texting with my wife. She's at her 3rd game of the day. Here's the 1-0 on Peralta. That misses 2-0. Thoughts on Eddie Butler so far?
I like what I've seen. A lot of ground ball outs, pound in the zone, except for right now. 2-0 count as he goes here into the top of the 4th inning. You know what I think one of the hardest things for young guys to do, and Jim Tracy and I used to talk about this quite a bit too, and Walton and I have too, is that, you know, you get through that 1st inning, you're all amped up, you warm up, you walk in, you see all these fans, you see the 3rd deck, and you're thinking, okay, I'm back. You go out and you get through that 1st inning, you come over and you sit down and you just kind of exhale. And you don't, you know, it's that inning by inning of where you've got to stay level and pitch your way through a ball game.
Well, this is now the 2nd time through, and so it'll be interesting. That's the first walk he's allowed.
Peralta right now, and he is in the mix of conversation, and with some people as far as rookie of the year, slugging percentage wise among the rookies, he leads it. 459.
A.J. Pollock, a fly ball to center field, his first time up.
The last Green Pack's coming up tomorrow, September the 21st. To enjoy a, you know, buy a Green Pack. It's going to help out the environment. The last home game of the season, $5 of every Green Pack goes towards planting trees.
Misses inside, 1-1. Now, can you tell from this vantage point, George, having seen him a lot and saw him last year when he was dominant, is the arm slot where they want it, high 3/4, or is it still a little bit more?
You know, it's like Darryl Scott and I talked before the game today. It's still a work in progress. You know, it's still that memory side of things, of getting there.
I always wonder with pitchers, when you have success, how did he get away from it?
Well, it's weird. I mean, how's the guy go 4 for 4 the next day? Why did I still saw the ball the same as I did yesterday, but I struck out 4 times today. I think with pitchers, you know, repeating the arm, repeating the delivery over and over again, that's what the really good ones do. And I think one of the weird things is, and people are guilty of this all the time, they play catch. I played catch with Drew, and I said, man, that ball cut pretty good with his arm. Then they try it. Well, just, no, you're fine. Your stuff's fine. Don't change anything. But you start to experiment an awful lot because you think, man, maybe I need one more thing. Hub Kittle was a very good mentor to me with the Cardinal organization. Long time, pitched in 6 decades, the whole deal. A lot of you people will know or remember Hub because he coached in the PCL for a long time as a pitching coach. He played for the San Francisco Seals. I mean, because he made more money instead of going to the big leagues.
Where DiMaggio played.
Right. And Hub always used to say, you know what? Was Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali looking for other knockout punches? They had one. Develop the one. You know, don't go looking for a bunch of different knockout stuff. You don't need it.
Auto glass damage, call SafeLight 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. 2-2 on A.J. Pollock, the Notre Dame product. On this glorious Saturday afternoon. We have had wonderful weather this week. Tomorrow, Fan Appreciation Day, the final home game of 2014. And this is perhaps a double play ball. Nope. Pollock runs pretty well, and it wasn't quite hit hard enough.
Well, let's take a look at it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode, and it's not hit extremely hard. Rutley's going to glove and go to the bag, and I think sometimes you, as a fielder, when you get to second base, and pretty close, but when you get, and you don't have the familiarity either with Adames, but he went to the bag, you go to the bag, and now he's trying to sidestep, so that's going to create different footwork for your shortstop to go ahead and continue to turn that play.
One and one. Trumbo grounded to short his first time up. Eddie Butler's allowed 2 hits as the Rockies lead it 4-0. This is back in our
direction.
direction.
Make a play. Come on, dive.
I tell you what, I've thought about these things differently now, George.
No. Wait a minute. Do you see what he just did? He's protecting the computer and leaving me and Doug wide open.
I am definitely protecting the computer because somebody I know, I'm trying to remember one of our colleagues, George.
It didn't come close to us.
No, I know. It didn't. But guess what? I'm protecting my laptop. So one of our colleagues had their laptop broken. The ball landed on it.
Go buy another one. It wasn't the last one, mate.
This is again hit to short. And with Pollock moving, only one play for Rutledge, and he gets Trumbo.
And then a good pitch by Butler. Got in on the hands of Trumbo.
Well, that's the kind of pitch I know you're looking for, where you're seeing mishit ground balls.
No question. Follow every Rockies game through season's end with MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. Adam has one of those. Get replay reviews, scores, stats, audio, and a whole lot more. Download @BAT on the App Store or visit Rockies.com/mobile today.
Montero out in front. Miguel had a single to left back in the second inning. I think, George, at this level, and you've said it so many times, and you experienced it, Jeff Houston experienced it, Spilly, Sully, Jason Hirsch. You gotta get to this level, experience this level, fail a little bit at this level also.
You gotta fail, and you're gonna fail. If you think you're going to come up and be Clayton Kershaw, you're not. I can just tell you right now, Greg Maddux, how about this? And this is an interesting stat. Maddux averaged over 7 walks per inning or per game when he was a rookie. 7 walks. Yet he goes into the Hall of Fame with the least amount of walks per 9 innings when his career's over.
Well, remember,
you fail.
Remember Arvada West, Roy Halladay? He went to the big leagues, #1 pick, goes to the big leagues, failed so miserably they didn't send him to AAA, they didn't send him to AA, they sent him back down to rookie ball.
Yeah, he went back to Dunedin. He went down there to get work done, and it was tough. You know, and he made that
climbed his way all the way back.
Sure he did.
And he was pretty good once he got back, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He can play on my team. He can still play on my team, even with a bum shoulder. I want him on my ball club.
What a great competitor. 2-1 on Montero. And the very affable backstop for the Arizona Diamondbacks fouls that off. 2-2.
You know what? And we've talked about this. Catchers feel the responsibility to a pitcher to call the right game too. And I remember I talked to a couple of young catchers in the Rockies organization one day, and I said, you know what? He has a right to shake off, but he trusts you. So that loss is as much of yours as it is his, because you're trying to guide him through what you're seeing and what you're catching the whole time.
Well, you know McHenry feels that. Montero
You do.
definitely feels that. Yadier Molina, 2-2. And this ball in the air to center. Charlie Blackmon will grab it. Eddie Butler safely navigates the fourth after a leadoff walk. 4-0 Colorado, middle of fourth.
Up 4-0. Trevor Cahill back on the hill for Arizona. There's Corey Dickerson, and when I was thinking about Cahill and how he's kind of like a side armor and the way he pitches, I thought I would ask Dickerson about his approach in facing Cahill.
Yeah, he's definitely funky, but you gotta have. He likes to throw his changeup also, and his two-seam runs off the plate also. So you really got to look middle away and just stay focused on that. Have a plan going in, and don't swing at pitches out of the zone. And I think you just really got to stay on the fastball and just to adjust to the changeup.
Well, Corey has a triple, one of the Rockies' 7 hits in this game. And when I think about Dickerson, he's such a great low ball hitter that I figured this would be a good matchup. And that's why we talked to TR before the game about how they structured this lineup. And guys, Dickerson's hitting 4th in this game.
Well, thanks, Mark. And I think, too, when you're facing a sinker ball guy, first thing that comes out of the mouth of the hitting coach and people putting the deal, make him bring it up. If you start to chase and he takes and wears out the bottom half of that zone, you just got to tell yourself, all right, if this fastball's below the knees, I'm out. Knee level, forget about it. I'm not swinging because it's going to run out of the zone. There's 3 in a row that ran out of the zone and a strikeout of Adames.
For Cahill, his 6th strikeout. And that'll bring up Eddie Butler. A Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, instant replay, of course, will be used to determine the outcome. Brought to you each day by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. With Mark Stott, George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman, Kirk Gibson. Been a trying year for Gibson. High expectations, and not just within the Arizona organization coming into the season, but a lot of national publications thought Arizona would be a playoff team.
I think they did, and then the injury bug hit. And once it hit hard like it did with a lot of baseball teams. And then, of course, about midway through the year, you've got the turmoil going on with Kevin Towers, the general manager. You've got it going on with there's Kevin and Bob Gebhardt. This is Bob, former Rockies general manager, sitting here with Kevin.
Butler gone for the 2nd time. The Rockies know of injuries like few teams in baseball this year. Texas decimated. Arizona this year has played 18 rookies, which is the most in baseball, totaling more than 600 games. They've had 11 make their major league debut this year.
Well, and again, the Dodgers have been one of the few teams that have had a tremendous amount of injuries that have been able to withstand it and stay where they are in the standings. Their injuries, other than Beckett, have been mostly with position guys.
You can say it till you're blue in the face. The sport has been and always will be about pitching.
Well, it's going to be pitching and defense. If you catch the baseball, not everybody, and I get letters from fans saying, you said strikeouts are overrated. They are. Outs are not. If you can just get some outs and give your team a chance to win and win in the park you're in, you're fine.
1-2 on Blackman, who tripled his last time up. The day after every Rockies victory, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. And another base hit for Charlie. What a series he's had. Actually, I should say what a homestand he's had, because the 5-for-5 game came in the series finale against the Dodgers.
I just like the ways he's utilizing all parts of the field. The earlier triple was off in left center field, deep part of the ballpark. This is a hanging breaking ball. He just rips it over Trumbo's head into the outfield.
Charlie is 8 for his last 12 at the plate. Is that any good?
Yeah, that's real good. That's probably why his averages is 287 and hadn't hovered below 280 in a while.
Rutledge hit a monster home run his last time up to dead center field, his first home run in 2 months.
Well, you said dead center field, and A.J. Pollock, as he went back, he just stopped and became a paid attendance to watch this one fly. And that's who ended up catching the baseball.
Rutledge surprises you, man. He generates some power. That's back up the middle. Another hit for Rutt. Blackman will stop at second. That will allow Justin Morneau, who's had a perfect afternoon, to hit.
Yeah, they're going to be asking themselves right now. The top three in this lineup have had a double home run, a triple, and a single. They've hit for the cycle. You didn't know that, huh, Dougie? Were you on top of that, Dougie? Does that count as a cycle? That does not count.
First three are 6 for 8. Morneau a single and a double. He has scored 2 runs. And Justin leading by 3 points over Harrison. Pirates play later on this evening at home against Milwaukee. Reigning MVP Andrew McCutchen at 309. Coming into today, check this out. We keep talking about how we are in a pitcher's era, and maybe more so than ever. There's only 16 qualified players who are hitting above 300 in baseball, American League included. Big swing from Morneau. By comparison, Doug did this research and he went back every 10 years. We're in 2014, so right now there's 16 qualified players. 2004, 36 qualified at the end of the year above 300. 94, 47. 84, 25. 74, pitcher's era, 22. 64, 21. The mound was still, wow, higher. So even going back to the 60s, George, 5 more players qualified than what we've seen this year.
That's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Dougie, where do you get all your information from? Is it locked up here? Locked in?
2-strike count on Morneau.
Said he comes up with the ideas and then it's all locked in and it just starts coming out, flowing.
I like what Morneau did there. He struck out. It was an easy play for Montero, but you keep playing the game right. Ran down to first. 4-0 Rockies. F-150. It's not just a truck, it's an F-150, and it's built Ford tough. And by Southwest Airlines, without a heart, it's just a machine. Rockies leading 4-0. Here's how we arrived at that point with our First Bank game recap. Put the 7th inning stretch to good use. Get First Bank's free checking at efirstbank.com. Morneau's 2 for 3, scored a couple runs. Rutledge a 2-run home run. Blackman has a triple. The Rockies 4 runs on 9 hits. As we go to the top of the 5th inning, Chris Owings to face Eddie Butler, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Eddie has allowed just 2 singles and a walk in his second big league start. Butler's first big league start came against the Dodgers. He gave up 5 runs in 5 1/3 on 10 hits. That was back in June. It was a slider, and that's fouled off. Eddie will get another start, and it will come against the Dodgers next weekend. Rockies actually these final 10 days of the season utilizing a quote-unquote 6-man rotation. 1-2, swung on and missed. Foul tip, actually, and that's the first strikeout of the ball game as Butler gets Owings. It's our Toyota Talk inning, and here's question number 1. What happens to players optioned to the Sky Sox, no longer part of the Rockies? They'll be optioned next year, folks, to AAA, and the AAA affiliate for the Rockies next year is Albuquerque. So you hear George and Jeff and I next year talking about, well, so-and-so is optioned back to Albuquerque. That's the only difference. And the folks that, you know, play on that AAA roster next year, so there'll probably be some holdovers from this year. Instead of calling Colorado Springs home, as they've done for 21 seasons, they'll call Albuquerque home.
Exactly. And I know the Rockies are excited, and you know, Colorado Springs now has the Milwaukee Brewers there.
That was just announced yesterday. And of course, Albuquerque will play in Colorado Springs plenty.
Well, they'll play there plenty, and I mean, again, it's very familiar with the PCL, so it's all teams will know where everybody is. Sit down.
Yep, this ball's well hit, and it is that off the top of the wall? Nope, it's a home run. Jake Lamb just got it over the auxiliary scoreboard, so the shutout gone for Eddie Butler. It's 4-1. 4th home run for Jake Lamb.
Wanted to take the sinker down and away, and it seemed to stay elevated. Very strong hitter at the plate. Eddie Butler can only watch after it leaves the hand, and it just skims right out of the ballpark. You can see it just come across here on the flight, inches from hitting that scoreboard and coming back down, but instead the home run.
Didi Gregorius takes a strike on the outside corner.
And this is another part of the growing process for Eddie Butler. Let's see how you respond now after giving up the home run. I think that's probably part of it too, Drew, in that growing up process. You're in Double-A, you've got really 3, maybe 5 really, good hitters. And the bottom of the order typically is not very good. And when I say not very good, they're 230, 240 hitters that you can strike out, you can go get. At the big league level, you're dealing with 8 guys. And at any point in time, they can hurt you. And I think that's, obviously the worst player at the big league level on a 25-man roster is better than any of those guys at the Isotopes or in New Britain, because they're here in the big leagues.
And that's going to find its way into right field for a base hit for Gregorius. So with 1 out, Trevor Cahill will hit with a runner aboard. With the Rockies winning the last couple of ball games, the season series has tightened up considerably. 9 wins for Arizona, 8 wins for the Rockies. The Rockies win the next 2, obviously they'll win the season series. The Rockies took the season series from the Giants this year. Something else, there's a comfort level for the Rockies in playing in the NL West. Now, there's a comfort level because of familiarity. You know the stadiums well, you know the opponents well. I mean, how many times do you have to go over the scouting report on how to pitch to Matt Kemp and Adrian Gonzalez? You know it by heart if you're a pitcher, right?
Right, you do know.
Then you show up in interleague play, George. You didn't have this when you played, but you show up outside the divisions, and it's like, okay, how do I deal with this guy again? Because it's not as commonplace that you see him.
And I think the other side of that, you just go with your strength. You know what? If he beats me, and then I'll learn from this as I go through the ball game.
Good bunt by Cahill. Morneau flipped to Adames for the second out.
And the other question you hear asked a lot, give me a comparison to this guy in the National League we're facing tonight in the American League pitcher. You know, you go and ask people, who is he like in the National League? To give you an idea of what it might be.
And I think where the biggest challenge is, you're going to study tape on the starting pitcher. You go into Cleveland, let's say, you're going to study tape on whoever they happen to throw out there, Corey Kluber that day. But then when the arms start coming out of the bullpen, George, in the 6th, 7th inning, a lot of times they're foreign.
They're very foreign. I can tell you that.
And it cuts both ways.
Sure it does, but I mean, still, you know, you go, well, this guy throws this, and this, and all of a sudden the first pitch out of the hand's 98, and you go, really? Okay, that got here in a hurry, and it had late cut, late sink. It had a little rise to the baseball. This is not what I saw on tape. Until you get in that box and you face it, and unfortunately you got 3 outs to try to do something against those guys.
Ender Inciarte with a 1-strike count. This is an important little situation. Got the home run. You have 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Rockies are up by 3. Keep it that way, and he will, as this is hit right at Ben Paulson. So Eddie Butler gives up a marker as Lamb goes deep. But he limits the damage after that. It's 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Fifth inning, Dickerson will lead it off, then McHenry and Paulson. Let's take a look at our AT&T fan photo of the day. Here it comes, I promise you. There it is. Oh, I know these guys. Well, I don't know the young lady in the middle, but Blackman and LeMahieu out of uniform, but styling. Tweet your photo to hashtag COFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Trevor Cahill. The good for Cahill is he struck out 8 in 4 innings. The bad is he's given up 4 runs on 9 hits.
You're starting to see him utilize the changeup and slider a whole lot more than what he was earlier. That was an 80-mile-an-hour changeup to Corey Dickerson.
He took the foot off the gas there. This ball's hit a ton right center field, and it'll sail. Another home run for Corey Dickerson. He didn't miss that one, his 24th of the year, and the Rockies get that run right back.
And that's what this offense can do. 75 RBIs now for Corey Dickerson on the year.
We figured out what the problem was with the first pitch. Watch this. Corey Dickerson got a changeup. Watch what he does after he swings and misses. I can't see. Somebody else take these. All right, let me get back in here. Then the next pitch.
Change up, see ya.
Exactly. Saw it better. Glass is overrated.
And a fly to this one. The bullpen all of a sudden stretching, starting to get loose down there. What number's going to be called? And it was get out of the way. You got an incoming.
I love this view of it.
I like the views of all home runs hit by the Rockies. Delgado has started to throw down in the bullpen for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
3-0 on Mike, and McHenry takes a strike. So now it's 21 straight games that the Rockies have hit a home run. And that, if you're just joining us, folks, Rutledge hit a 2-run home run earlier. The longest prior to today, or the only longer one, it matched the one they did in '96, was in '99. They went 32 straight home games with a home run. This one with a home run tomorrow will carry into next year. It becomes a little more difficult. That's a rocket, but Trumbo's 6'5" and he grabs it. A little more difficult when you start playing those games in April at home because it's colder and the ball's not flying the same. But 21 straight home games with a home run. In most of these games, it seems like there's been 2 or 3.
Yeah, it hasn't been. It's been multiple home runs. It's just been an offensive onslaught's what it's been, folks.
Ben Paulson leans on one to deep left center field. And Pollock chases it down. Where he caught that ball is about 420 feet from home plate. Ben gave that thing a ride. Well, with the home run by Dickerson, the Rockies now have 10 hits for the 73rd time this year in a game, which came in tied for #1 in baseball. And if you're wondering, it's 55 at home, just 18 out on the road. But you assume that it's going to be lopsided to a certain degree, favoring the games played at Coors Field. But the Rockies are on just a tear. I mean, they're on one of those runs right now where it doesn't matter. And case in point, Walt was saying to us the other day, George, after the ball game on Wednesday against the Dodgers, and that young kid who made the start for the Dodgers, Friars, he's throwing, he's up there 95, 96. The guys are coming back saying it's good stuff, but they threw 10 hits up on him. It's 2/3 of an out.
Good stuff, but we see it really good too.
Yeah, 2/3 of an inning, I should say. Noah, and that'll end the inning. In the inning, Corey Dickerson hit one to his buddies in the Rockies bullpen. Team leading 24th of the year. Colorado up 5-1. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Dodge, visit Dodge.com, your local Dodge dealer today. Eddie Butler beginning the 6th inning, facing David Peralta. 72 pitches in. Peralta took ball 1.
Just seeing what you want to see from Eddie Butler. 8 ground ball outs. 6 fly ball, 1 hit hard to Charlie chased down.
Peralta 0 for 1 and a walk. He walked leading off the 4th inning. Only walk allowed by Butler. And now it's 3-0. The Ford Strike Zone is powered by Built Ford Tough trucks. Built better, built stronger, built Ford Tough. No wonder Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks 37 years running.
And this again, it went to 3-0 on this leadoff hitter, and I understand that, what the count is. But you're also watching this as a manager, and the reason you're watching, you're going, okay, you know, are you wanting to turn this over to the bullpen, or are you wanting to give me 6 strong innings? Because your pitch count is at 80-something. And that's why I'm saying to you, do you want to go farther into it? 76, excuse me, that you want to go into. So, you know, are you satisfied with 5? Was in baseball terms, we called it 5 and fly. I got the lead, and, you know, I'm done. Finish strong in this thing right now.
Well,
you know, give me the 6th inning really strong, just like Jordan Lyles did yesterday. And again, that's all the growing process of a young starter at the big league level. Because you do get caught up with the fact that I want to win that first major league game, and I've got to trust the bullpen. I'm leading 5-1. You know, Jimmy Wright's popped out of that dugout pretty quick and went out to talk to Eddie. And I think this is where, you know, make that pitch.
Why doesn't the pitching coach bring a glove to cover his mouth?
Huh? Because the pitcher and the catcher always have bad breath. It's not too late to participate in Batter Up for Kids when you select a Rockies player at Rockies.com/BatterUp. You commit to donate for every hit he has for either the half or full season. Proceeds go to Children's Hospital of Colorado and Special Olympics of Colorado. Hi, buddy. How you doing? How's the game going? You having fun today?
He's having a blast.
Oh, yeah. How's the finger taste? Just like it did an hour ago, doesn't it? Huh. Quit giggling.
Frankie is in the bullpen throwing. Franklin Morales just missed. Ball 1 on A.J. Pollock. Pollock's 0 for 2.
Both left-handers, Friedrich and Brothers, threw last night in the game. Rex 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, was up to 95.
Blackman's got to come in a little bit. He'll make the catch. That'll bring up Martin Trumbo. Thanks again for tweeting us your questions last inning during a Toyota Talk. For more answers, visit our Facebook page at facebook.com. It's the 1-0. And that's on the ground at third. See if the Rockies can twist it. There's 1 and there's 2. 5-4-3 around the horn. Second time the Rockies have turned a double play behind Eddie Butler this afternoon as he is safely through the 6th inning. And the Rockies on top 5-1. look back. Rockies got a 2-run home run from Josh Rutledge in the 3rd inning. And then Corey Dickerson, well, first Jake Lamb would hit a home run in the 5th. And then Corey Dickerson would get that run back with a home run of the Rockies bullpen. See, we showed the swing and miss. He got rid of the sunglasses, and then he hit it out. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, open in Greenwood Village in Colorado Springs. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Christian Adames will lead it off, and the new pitcher's former starter Randall Delgado.
And has excelled out of the bullpen. 44th appearance for him. You see the earned run average, innings pitched, but the strikeouts, 76 and 70 innings. And you dig a little deeper, 1 run or less in 11 of his 12 road relief outings this year. 68 strikeouts as a reliever, second most in Diamondbacks this season, trailing only Perez, who has 70.
Here's the line on Trevor Cahill. 5 innings, he threw 89 pitches. He gave up 5 runs, all of the runs earned, 10 hits. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out a season best 8.
How about this? Delgado got the win and the loss. It's the only time in Diamondbacks record for a win and a loss on the same day, August 13th, against the Indians. Got the win in the first one. Let's bring him in the second one, see what he can do.
Adames bounces it to second. Owings could play second, short, and third. Makes the play. Brandon Barnes going to pinch hit for Eddie Butler. So George, Eddie Butler's second start, far better than his maiden voyage in the big leagues, and that is really something to build on.
Yeah, very much so, and I think everybody should be excited about it with all the ground ball outs and what he's done.
Well, did you know, George, I know you know this, the money generated from hunting and fishing in our state creates jobs and protects wildlife. So when you see a hunter or angler, give them a hug. Learn more at hugahunter.com.
I like the ground ball outs that Eddie was able to pull off this today in this start. The double plays turned. They had a couple of those to get him out of innings. He made pitches when he had to. Showed maturity, and he's gone 6 innings. They can hand it over to the bullpen. Frankie's warming up down there. Barnes, man, what he's done pinch hitting wise this year, 271. A couple of home runs and 5 RBIs.
Yeah, he's going to add another hit to his total. So Brandon's at first with 1 out. Charlie Blackman, who's 2 for 3, will come up. Congratulations to the University of Colorado. Beat the University of Hawaii today, 21-12. Did you ever play out there, George?
Where?
In Hawaii. College?
Yes.
Minor leagues?
College and minor leagues, both.
Oh, you went out and played Hawaii?
Yeah, we sure did. We went to Hawaii on a 7-day road trip in college. We played at 10, 2, 6, and 8. 4 games a day. 3 times. Yeah, played on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Played 12 games.
What? Played 4 a day?
Am I stuttering at all here
yeah.
when I say this?
You played 4 games a day.
Played 4 games a day. And the funny part was Gene Stevenson, one of our assistant coaches, just come back out of, he was out of Vietnam, and he was a pretty good player. He was all Big 8. So we went over to play the Marine Corps at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was one of our games. And Gene Stevenson's bragging the whole time about, man, I can't wait. I'm going to rip this thing. He's, talking trash. We walk in there, and the guy throwing's about 180 miles an hour with a Snapdragon slider, and he didn't even go to the plate. He was due up third in the lineup because the game didn't count. It was against the Marines, and we were doing it more as a benefit.
Right.
Yeah, we got our tails kicked that day. Yeah, there's a couple of games I played right. Mickey Lashley was at short. I mean, it's just give guys a break. There was a lot of teams over there.
4 a day, you bet.
Yeah. Hey, everybody got to pitch, though. And then I went back over again and played against the Hawaiian Islanders, which at the time was San Diego's AAA team.
And that would work. Would you go over for a week, play a slew of games?
Play 7 days. Yeah, you play 7 days. They would be home for like 21 days and then be on the road for 20 and then back home for 21. And we played in the big ballpark, where they play all the football now.
I've done a football game over there. Charlie strikes out swinging.
It was funny because Eddie Hyatt, an old reliever with the Hawaiian Islanders, would sit over in their bullpen, and he would call our bullpen and tell somebody to get up. We'd start throwing to John Felskue, man. He's in the big leagues for a long time. Why are you guys throwing down there? We're doing fine at 6th inning. You called. No, I didn't.
Is that right? Rutledge, a 2-run home run and a single, 2 for 3. Josh takes a strike.
Eddie White, and the funny about Eddie was we're playing our last game in Spokane. That was the AAA home of the Brewers at the time, 1977. Had Gorman Thomas in the outfield, Dick Davis, Jimmy Gantner was on that team. Dwayne Espy was the second baseman on that team.
Sure.
But Eddie walks out to pitch the last inning, and Eric Gregg, the late great Eric Gregg's umpiring home plate, and he weighed 180 pounds, by the way. And first pitch was an apple. Second pitch was an orange, and Gregg said if you throw anything but a baseball on the next one, you're gone. He threw the rosin back, and he was gone.
You've told me that story. I didn't realize I was over there.
Yeah, apple, orange, and a rosin back.
0-2. Runner going, and this throw is deflected into short center field. A stolen base for Barnes.
His 5th stolen base. He's only been caught 3 times. He got a very good jump, and then the ball just sailed from Montero out of reach, and no advancement, but a stolen base to get in scoring position.
I'll tell you one of the things I remember about doing football over there. Out on the field Friday for the walkthrough.
Yes.
In shoes.
Yes.
Normal dress shoes. I had to get off the turf.
Was it a little hot for you?
Oh my goodness. See if Rutledge can bring Barnes along. Rockies up 5-1. They've out-hit Arizona 11-5. They won 15-3 with 16 hits yesterday. Rutledge fans, though, here against Delgado. And we'll go to the 7th inning.
We go to the 7th inning. There's the Rockies dugout. Carlos Gonzalez is not there, although he was in the clubhouse today. That's because he told me he can watch about 3 innings of baseball. He said, I can't watch it. I have to play it. And hopefully he will be playing it to get healthy next year. He still is in this rehab process after having that knee surgery. And I talked to Cargo today in the clubhouse.
I got to be patient. That's what the doctors say. The first thing, patient because it's 6 months, so I still have a long way to go. But things are going really good, and I'm finally walking off the crutches, and every day is a new day.
A little bit more for Cargo. And Drew and Georgie told me he'll be here till mid-October. Then he's going to head to Florida. Can't swing a bat until January at the earliest, and hopefully spring training he'll be down there and get back at it. So that's the hope for Cargo.
Well, that's all pretty good news. I mean, to get that knee finally fixed, to play with that pain for so long. I mean, I've had 9 knee surgeries. I know what he went through, and it's very difficult to come back for. Brandon Barnes stays in the ball game. He goes to right field. He will still hit 9th. Franco Morales in the game, his 35th appearance. 6-8 overall. Frankie will be handed a 5-1 lead here in the top of the 7th inning.
Miguel Montero, Chris Owings, and Jake Lamb, 2 of the 3 are left-handed hitters. I wish Cargo and Tulo all the best in their rehab, and with Cargo, hopefully with good health, you know the numbers will return to what we're accustomed to seeing. Tulo was putting up great numbers this year until he had to have the hip surgery. He would have been in that MVP conversation, and that says something, because it's hard to be in an MVP conversation when your team has 90+ losses.
Exactly, but he would have been, no question.
Montero hits this ball to right center field, and Miguel is going to head into second with a double.
Well, he had a little collision there. Frankie came in because Rutledge had gone out to have the extended cutoff. Then he had to sprint back to the bag with Adames going out, and a kind of collision hit with the 2 of those guys. And that's how the ball ended up back here. Heads up on McHenry, though. Well, ball's hit into right center field, and I tell you, Barnes got there, and Barnes has a very strong arm. When he got to the baseball, he was able to turn, fire, and pretty much put a strike right into second base. But you could see all the different bodies moving in the same direction. You got Morales coming, you got the runner coming. Josh is trying to get to it. Morales is seeing the ball ricochet off of him, all on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. A lot of dancing to avoid injury.
You described it well, George, because the middle infielders went out on a double cut, assuming the ball was going to get to the wall, but Barnes, with his speed, cut it off.
And arm. You know, he had a strong arm to make the play in, too.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, you know, with Montero running, you had the potential for a play.
Well, that's part of it. And when he got to the baseball, that's where you got to really bust it back to the bag and be able to get in that position to field the baseball. Hard to do because you're not you're trying to set up for one play and another happens.
2-0. Morales working at Chris Owens.
Looks like Brooks Brown has started to throw down in the Rockies bullpen.
He'll become a guy that Walt trusts in that 7th inning on the plus side.
That's a great story. You know, to have the success after #1 draft pick, struggled, 29 years old, you get to the big leagues.
That catches his own, 2-1. Eddie Butler today, work done, 6 innings, a run on 5 hits. He walked 1, he struck out 1, got a number of ground balls. In fact, he had a couple of double plays turned behind him. How would you grade him, George?
I thought Butler did fine. I really did. I thought coming up here and handling all the things that have gone on, you know, and to show the mental side, the mental strength of it. You know, I wanted to say that in the 5th, and the reason I said that, a lot of young kids, I got the lead, I'm going to get my first win, I'll turn it over to the bullpen, 5 and fly. Gave it a lead-up walk. Then turns right around, gets the double play ball to walk out of the inning. I mean, that was huge. Big strikeout, Frankie. Good cutter. Man, it was nice.
Yeah, that cutter, by the time Owens finished swinging, it almost hit him. Look at this pitch again.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in on it. It looks like it's going to be a fastball in. That last second, just over underneath the bat. Pretty difficult to see, pretty good, difficult to handle. Owens tried to get his hands inside on the baseball. That wouldn't happen.
Jake Lamb homered in his last at bat, skipped one off the top of the auxiliary scoreboard. The only run Eddie Butler gave up. Look out, Didi Gregorius. Didi arched his back out of the way of that foul ball. The only problem was that Didi arched his back after the ball had already gone past him. Retired by Adames, 2 outs as Montero goes to 3rd. So that'll bring up Gregorius. It's a huge win for Detroit today, 3-2.
2.5 games now.
And 2.5 up in the division. Wild card in the American League's jam-packed. You have Oakland and Kansas City. They began the day virtually tied. Seattle's right there.
Super Suites Conference Center at Coors Field. It's available for your game day or non-game day meetings, groups of 25 to 200. You can enjoy the views of the city as well as the ballpark. So come down, make that your unique meeting right here at Coors Field.
Gregorius swings and misses 1 and 2. Well, it just goes to show you that it only happens really in Hollywood and in books, where careers end with light tower shots, World Series being poured, champagne, World Series championship, that sort of thing. Derek Jeter is not going to go to the playoffs in his swan song with the Yankees, and he just extracted himself from an 0-for-28 slump earlier in the week. And the truth is, even for Hall of Fame careers, more frequently it ends on a 6-3 than a walk-off.
Oh, no, there's no question. The way Todd Helton's ended here at Coors Field when he hit that ball out of the ballpark.
That was Hollywood.
That's Hollywood, folks. That normally doesn't happen when something like that goes on. And I think that's some of the big things you deal with as a player. You remember all the great days. Try to forget the bad, but they are a part of it. Another guy that was a pretty good player, Paul Konerko, is retiring this year.
It short
of Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah, it shouldn't be forgotten. Overshadowed, obviously, by Jeter in New York. But Konerko, what a career. 5-1 Colorado. Good work from Frankie.
Up next, let's look at it. Wade Miley will take the mound tomorrow for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Christian Bergman will take it for the Rockies, making his 9th start. Christian has pitched very well of late, 2-4 overall record. Wade Miley at 8-11 with a 4.17 earned run average, and they have gone down to their bullpen. And they will bring in appears to be De La Rosa, the left-hander, out of their pen. No, it's not. It's Mr. Perez. I'm so happy to see Oliver Perez again. This guy, I tell you what, he's done a nice job making a comeback and doing what he has done. His 66th appearance, 56 innings, 70 strikeouts I mentioned earlier. Lead the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen in strikeouts. You'll get Justin Morneau, Corey Dickerson. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning with the Rockies leading 5-1. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-6. Perez will give you a varying degree of arm angles, sliders. Still got to possesses a very good fastball. Man, Morneau went with the yellow glasses and the eye black. Doubled up.
I want to see him throw it away like Dickerson did.
Well, and now they don't have the old eye black, you know, where you used to get the tube and you'd stick it on there and you had to go and take alcohol. Now they just peel them off.
I hated that in football. It took forever and your face was all red.
Well, you guys did that in football to look mean. It's like a lot of baseball players now, you know, they do the war paint thing.
Yeah. 2-1.
Nice job by Franklin Morales, by the way. Doubled and then strikeout, ground out, strikeout.
I just think, and as much as Frankie likes starting George, he seems to work better in the shorter stint role.
I think he comes out very angry. He does a really good job of getting after it. And he pounds the strike zone and he just kind of eliminates things and goes with a couple of pitches there.
I think one of the highest compliments you can pay somebody in athletics is that they're a competitor.
Oh yeah, he loves to compete. You can just see it on his face. It appears Christian Friedrich has started to warm up. I think he went around. He did. They're not going to get him.
You know what? They're not going to get him. So Morneau reaches on the strikeout by Perez. It's a strikeout wild pitch.
Big hard slider, and then Montero just tried to basically pick the ball out of the dirt, and it appeared to hit right on the thumb of the glove and shot up against the screen.
Remember I pointed out in the 4th inning, to end the inning, Morneau struck out. And the ball didn't go anywhere like it did just now. I mean, it was blocked by Montero, was right there. He still ran down to first. He was out by 20 feet. But the point is that you always play the game right. He didn't get disappointed there in self-pity that he struck out.
Outwardly disappointed.
Sure. But you played the game right, and,
sure.
And now he's at first base. Even though he punched out, and you have a chance to build on a 4-run lead. Dickerson at the plate, a triple and a home run today.
Well, the Twins had that one big wave of players, you know, Kadire, Morneau, that came through there. And they won a lot. And then when those guys left, you know, it's been kind of a tough time for the Minnesota Twins to find those kind of players. Well, and because they won, and I talked to their scout here yesterday, because they won, he said we had to find guys like Morneau and Kadire that were that 25th pick in the 1st round, you know, through 35, and we had to get really lucky with some guys in that 10th round through 20th round that came through and they played and they knew how to play the game, liked playing the game. And quite honestly, he just said they were really good players, and he said they made all of us look like geniuses. And he said now all of a sudden we're not winning, we're getting the top picks, and we're not getting very much production out of it. A lot of injuries.
Look at 07 and 09 with the Rockies.
Sure.
The nucleus of that team came up together.
19 of 25 players on the 07 team were homegrown.
So you had that bunch. You know, Helton was a holdover, but you had the Holidays and the Hops.
Tulowitzki.
And the Tulos coming up, leading the way. That was a balk on Oliver Perez. Morneau goes to second.
I think he's looking around Oliver. It's like, who called it? Who called the balk?
I think the home plate umpire Mike Everett called it.
Yeah, nobody else saw it. Nah, somebody else yelled it before him. Somebody yelled right in the back of him, and when he did, that caught his attention.
Did he not pause?
Nah, he just kept going. See, watch when you're supposed to come to that stop. He never really came to a stop up on top, and he just dropped the hands and went.
Yeah, that's definitely a balk.
Just bounced him off his stomach and came right at it. You know, Dougie gave me a great note on Dickerson, and you may have mentioned this. I don't think you did. His 24 home runs, the most of any second-year player in the game. Ozuna has done it. You know, Ozuna had in his second year had 23. Chris Davis 22, and Gaddis 22. How about that?
Impressive. Dickerson second on the club in RBIs with 75. Morneau leading with 79. Corey strikes out here, and that'll bring up Michael McHenry. Michael hit a laser that Mark Trumbo stabbed his last time up. It's one of those weird days in that the Rockies have 5 runs on 11 hits, but they've also struck out 11 times.
It's not too late to participate in the Batter for Kids, Batter Up for Kids. When you select a Rockies player at Rockies.com/BatterUp, you commit to donate for every hit he has for the first half or full season. It's all up to you. Proceeds go to Children's Hospital Colorado and Special Olympics Colorado.
Slider hits the corner. It's 0-2.
Got to be really hard right now with all the shadows. Pitcher standing out there and the ball's coming into you.
When the pitcher's in the sunlight and the rest of the path to the plate is shadows, that's tough.
I really liked it when you played those 220 games at Wrigley Field in the old days before they had lights. You know, one of the things they used to do all the time, they would look, and this is something Larry Bowa came up with. Larry would watch the catcher's helmet and he'd say, guys, are you watching where it's going? And they go, what are you talking about? Once the sun would set about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and he'd get in behind the towers or he'd get behind the stadium, and you'd see this bright light over home plate. And every time the catcher would go outside, they'd look down, you'd see the guy's helmet out on the outside of the home plate, and you go, okay, I'm going away.
Yeah.
And they wondered why, you know, there were so many. Of course, there were a lot of great hitters there at the time too, but you know, why they get hit hard on a nasty slider away and they're hitting it into right center field.
So Matt McBride's going to pinch hit here. This is the pitcher spot. Paulson was removed when Barnes stayed in the ball game, and Barnes had pinch hit.
Another guy that's starting to throw the ball really well out of the bullpen. After he came up here and started, quite honestly, didn't do well.
Just
so they
seems
set
like
him back down, and all of a sudden, you know, you're back to that routine again. You know what? I'm going to bury you with 2 pitches. You don't have to worry about getting through 5 innings. I got to worry about getting 3 outs.
Different comfort level. Just a different comfort level, it looks for Christian out there. Hey, McBride yesterday pinch hit, and he hit a ball to the wall in center field that was tracked down by Pollock. Oh, and 2. You can just tell the tardiness of the swings. Guys aren't picking it up.
See, he balked again. He just bounced and came to the plate. That time Everett didn't call it. Walt Weiss pretty happy right now. 5-1 lead. His club scoring runs. They're pitching well. The bullpen's doing what they need to do. Here's the 1-2 count on McBride. There's 2 outs in the inning. Morneau in scoring position. What was that delivery? I love it. Oliver, boy, he turned around and looked at everybody in center field. I wonder if he said, hi, how you doing, Justin? And then he threw the pitch to the plate.
One and 2 on Matt. Oliver Perez got 4 strikeouts in the inning. That's not easy to do. Top of the 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Christian Friedrich will take over here in the 8th inning. Eddie Butler again, if you're just jumping aboard. 1 run in 6 innings. Allowed just 5 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Nice performance for Eddie, in line for his first big league victory. Christian Friedrich through the final inning last night as the Rockies won 15-3. Christian will face a guy who's a good friend right now, and Jordan Pacheco. Pacheco will pinch hit for Oliver Perez.
And last night he struck out Pacheco. Teammates all the way through, Asheville and Tulsa, AAA.
So just looking something up, Georgia. Bouncing around box scores. That's going to be a base hit, a bullet off the top of Inoa's glove. So here late in the season, Jordan Pacheco continues to swing the bat well.
Right, look at it right out over the head of Inoa and almost tipped the glove. Inoa staying down, as you should as an infielder, in preparation of a ground ball. It looked like it tipped the top of the glove. I think it did. Just hit so hard he couldn't make a play on it.
So Ender Inciarte's 1 for 3. That's low. Well, we're showing that ball game in New York, in the Bronx, 5-2 Toronto, because I was just checking out different scores and how certain guys were doing. Jeter's got a hit today. He scored a run. He's now 9th on the all-time run scored list in the history of the game. Ichiro has 2 hits in the ball game, and Ichiro quietly, he's not hitting 350 anymore, George, but he's hitting in the mid 280s. And he now has 2,835 hits in the big leagues. Not to mention that he had over 1,200 hits in Japan. So he's at 41-13.
Doesn't count. If you're trying to add up to rows, doesn't count.
I'm not saying it, well, it's
doesn't
impressive.
Count. Oh, it's no question. It's impressive what he did. Are you kidding me?
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You know that he came over here and did exactly what everybody thought he would do. And I think he'll probably play beyond to get those 3,000 hits in America. But that's no different than the home run Sadararo hit that nobody wanted to recognize over here also in the record books.
Ichiro came over, great fanfare, and he was Rookie of the Year and MVP in the first season.
You remember when we went up to Seattle in an interleague game? It was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe, I don't remember, 7 years ago. It doesn't matter.
2-2.
And got him. And we're watching Ichiro take batting practice. And you know, he's known for running out of the box, line drive hits, this and that. And there was about 15 pitches in a row that he's sending in the upper deck.
Like he was Giambi.
Yeah, like in Seattle. I mean, he just hit monster shots.
So much so, and we've told this story before, so much so, our jaws are dropped. Now, the Rockies weren't yet out on the field yet, and we went in and told Clint Hurdle about it. Said, you got to see this. It's the damnedest thing ever. I mean, this wiry guy that's known for slapping balls all over the ballpark. And Clint made sure he came out early to see Ichiro take batting practice the next day.
It was more than just impressive. Was for me anyway.
1-0 on Peralta.
I think I've told this story a couple of times too. The most impressive batting practice I witnessed was, Reggie time. The last 15 minutes in New York was Reggie Jackson's turn to hit. And the Indians were giving him a pretty hard time about, last 15 minutes, Reggie time, who do you think you are, and all that kind of stuff. And he said, well, just pool your money together. Boy, nice pitch. Pool your money together, boys. 3 pitches in a row. He went out to left, to dead center, and to the upper tank in Yankee Stadium and said, send the checks over, and walked out of the cage.
He called them, too,
and he called all three of them.
One, 2 on Peralta.
You know, in 1981, George thought he's had eyesight problems because he's hitting like 190. He wasn't feeling great. He's going to be a free agent. He's mad he wasn't getting it. So he had to go. He went in and had his eyes checked. And then he flew into Detroit and met us. Early batting practice. Jeff Torborg, former manager, bullpen coach, done a lot of different things. That hurt. And Jeff goes, all right, I got to go throw batting practice to Reggie. You want to come shag? And I said, sure. So I just went out to right field in old Tiger Stadium and sat there.
You didn't catch one ball, did you?
Not one ball out of a bag of balls did he hit inside the fences. And he said, call George and let him know I'm fine. A couple of them were on the rooftop like the 71 All-Star game. Will Harris, the right-hander, has started to throw in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Tough play.
Adames handles it. 2 outs. Jeff Torborg, a very nice man. He was a partner of mine back in the 90s on Fox Sports and FX national games.
You know, back in the day, bullpen coaches made $15,000, $25,000. That's what they made a year. Oh, did he really? Oh boy.
You know what? That was a backswing, I think, that got McHenry.
Let's see if we got him on a jar and a mask. Doesn't really matter. It's not going to feel good. Oh, right in the back of the head.
Wow.
Wow. You know what? Why even take a chance with it, huh? Holy cow. I mean, look how far out and back look how far back he is on that.
He has to roll to the inside corner, and then the follow through by Peralta. Some guys have that longer follow through, and it's obviously completely accidental, inadvertent. Corey Dickerson's a guy that has that as well. Rockies are going to make a pitching change also. Adam Ottavino is going to pitch to A.J. Pollock. Sprinting off the field, Christian Friedrich. Good job, Christian. 5-1 Colorado. Two outs in the 8th inning. Christian Friedrich steps off the pitching mound, and Adam Ottavino takes over. A.J. Pollock, who's 0 for 3, will come up with a runner at second base and Jordan Pacheco.
Yeah, Pollock was feeling pretty good about it until Ottavino walked out of that bullpen door. 73rd appearance for him. Near the top in appearances in the National League now. Has been for the last month. But that fastball has been ranging anywhere from 95 to 98 miles an hour. That one was 96. To go along with a nasty slider.
You mentioned the number 73. It reminded me that when Oliver Perez struck out 4 last inning, of course, Morneau reached on a wild pitch.
74 strikeouts out of the bullpen.
Well, it's the 73rd time in the history of the game that a guy has struck out 4 in an inning. And it's happened one other time this year. Zach Greinke did it. It's the first time it's ever happened in Arizona history. 0-2. on A.J. Pollock. See you later. 98. That was quick.
Nice talking to you. Hope you had a good time here with us.
Wow. 98 at the Shadows. Good luck.
Backs 11-7, and they'll hand the ball over to a former Rocky, Will Harris, who was drafted in the 9th round in 2006, and he had Tommy John surgery while pitching for the Rockies. Got to the big leagues for a little while at the end of the year after coming back his first full season in Tulsa and Colorado Springs, and he got the call up here, and the Rockies designated him, and he was picked up. The Arizona Diamondbacks has been up and down with them the last couple of years. He'll get a Noah to start things off here, and then Adames. Adames' average has dropped. It's gone all the way back down to 410. Excuse me, and Noah's average has dropped all the way down to 410. It was up to 460. Well, that's
kind of hard to keep it at 460.
Well, probably, yeah. Kind of like Charlie in the first part of the year. He kept it at 400 for quite a while, actually.
After 6 for 6.
And, of course, all the questions start coming, you know, can they maintain it? He had to fight that fastball off. Thought he was going to get hit with it. They'll make the play in the out.
One gone. That'll bring up Christian Adames. Safelite Auto Glass, the folks to see if you have windshield issues. 303-287-5000 to make an appointment or go online at safelite.com. Adames is 0 for 3, getting the start at second base this afternoon. Most action will come tonight in the big leagues. The Cubs came from behind, beat the Dodgers today 8-7. Kind of turned the tables on LA. That happened to the Cubs yesterday when they had a comfortable lead, or so they thought. The Dodgers came back. That's the only other score in the National League. The Giants and Padres later on at Petco. Milwaukee at Pittsburgh later. That Hurdles club looks like they're in good shape, George, in the playoff push in the National League.
Well, of course, if you're reading a lot of the different things on the internet right now, Frank Wren, they say, could be in trouble in Atlanta as the general manager. John Hart's been there as the consultant, basically. He and Mr. Sherholz had he and Mr. Sherholz go back for years and years. So there's another one, you know, that something could happen there. I also think, you know, you start to look around a little bit at some of these ball clubs.
Doug Melvin, they say, is okay in Milwaukee after they led the Central for so long. I think some managers could be on the hot seat. Bob Melvin's not one of them in Oakland.
1-2 fouled off. Right now in the National League wild card, if the season ended today, the Giants and the Pirates would play each other. Milwaukee's 4.5 back, so unless something changes dramatically, your 5 teams in the National League that'll participate in the postseason will be those two, the Giants and the Pirates, and Washington, St. Louis, and LA. Now, the Giants still have an outstanding shot at winning the division, and winning the division is more meaningful now starting last year than in the past, because you're guaranteed a series as opposed to one game.
Makes it a big difference. Doug handed me a great note, but I can't read it.
How do you know it's great then?
Well, because it's talking about if there was only one wild card game this year, it'd be way more exciting with San Francisco, Pittsburgh.
Well, Doug's a traditionalist. Doug's a purist. He didn't like that there was expansion of the playoff field.
Tough luck, Dougie. They did it anyway. Planning an event, don't strike out. Get Dinger. Send an email to dinger@rockies.com or call 303-312-2266 for more information about having Dinger, the Rockies' beloved mascot, show up at your next special event.
Barnes a single, pinch hitting in the 7th, stayed in the ball game in right field. Here's the 1-0, and it's 1-1. A 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the 8th for the Rockies. Colorado's won 4 in a row. Hopefully on their way to 5 straight. Two of 3 from the Dodgers. They've won the first 2 here against Arizona. Who Wants Tacos fans? Follow at @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. And each of the last 4 days, the Rockies have provided you with tacos. 10, 16, 7, 15. That's the run totals the previous 4 days. Barnes goes down. Will Harris's second strikeout of the day. We'll go to the 9th. Rockies looking for 3 more outs, up 5-1. .com to learn more. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon, the Rockies are 3 outs away from making it 5 consecutive victories. They're up 5-1 on the Arizona Diamondbacks as we go to center field and visit with Jenny Cavnar and those two guys.
Those two guys, exactly, Drew. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, I'm going to give you your clues. It was Mr. Dickerson putting a wrench in the Diamondbacks' plans today.
Ooh, I like that. How about Colonel Morneau with the frozen rope in the gap?
No, you guys are both wrong. It was the butler with the sinker on the mound.
Ooh.
All right, we'll have all those clues and more coming up on the Toyota postgame show. For now, let's get it to Mark Stout for more on LaTroy Hawkins coming into the game right now.
Yes, the Rockies closer is on, even though it is not a save situation. The Rockies are 4-5-1. But as fans know, he is inching closer to his 1,000th appearance in the big leagues. And Walt Weiss said today when he was asked, will that happen this year as we wind down the season? He reluctantly said, yes, it is going to happen. So LaTroy Hawkins is on, guys. Not a save situation. I think this is number 997, if I'm not wrong, for him in the big. So it's going to happen.
Mark, you've never been wrong. It is 997.
Awesome. It is such an accomplishment, too. Walt was talking about
I want to point out, though, Mark.
Oh, you got to throw a pitch.
Not all this year. Right.
Me being right?
No, the 997, they haven't all come this year.
Yeah.
This is line to deep right, and it's going to go off the bottom of the screen, and it's going to be your basic 370-foot single for Mark Trumbo. Rockies have a 5-1 lead on 11 hits despite striking out 16 times in the game.
Well, they got crazy because they had 4 in 1 inning. That added to it. First time in Diamondback history, as Drew told you. 71st time, is that what you said that it's happened? 73rd time.
Good crowd today on a Saturday afternoon. 33,764 at Coors Field.
Well, with everything that's going on, too. I mean, you got college football going on right now, and the Rockies fans realizing it's the last weekend for baseball. They have turned out for the games as they have all year long.
Miguel Montero 2 for 3. The fastball darts low, ball 1. Rockies win this ball game today. They also even up the season series at 9-9. Called strike. And also, they hang on here. They'll be 34-35 against the NL West.
And you look around at the rest of what happened to them in the East. Colorado 13-20 and 7 games under. 10-23 versus the Central.
Team that's made the. This is a chopper that's going to go into left field for a base hit. 3rd hit for Miguel Montero. Be careful here. There's 2 on, nobody out. Anyhow, the team that's made the biggest move within the division, the Dodgers, who lead the division, 20 over against the West, 45-25. Giants 36-31. And then the next best record, the Rockies. Again, that's inside the division. That was a Baltimore chop in Denver. Barnes will get there.
Oh, man,
he did. He made a pretty close play.
Montero's like, come on. He's smiling. I like it. I love it when an outfielder's not afraid to take the gamble when you know you got a pretty sure-handed first baseman to make that throw, because you're going to throw it on the line. And Barnes kind of took his time here, like, okay, I just got me a little fly ball. Well, I'm going to make a snap throw to first. You better get back. We've seen Larry Walker do that. I've actually seen Larry when there was a base hit to right by a pitcher and he's playing shallow, he fielded it and threw him out at first before he could get there. So basically 9-3.
Montero's talking to Barnes. What are you doing?
Arizona 0 for 9 today, 1 for 9 yesterday, so 1 for 18, Doug. Is that new math? There you go. Perfect.
This could be 10. No, wouldn't hit hard enough and right at Adames enough. He did the right thing, get it out. When in doubt, get it out. 2 gone.
Hey, that rhymes, Drew. That was pretty good. When in doubt, get it out.
When in doubt, get it out.
You haven't said that to any of your teams you've been coaching, your kids, have you?
No, I haven't said that before.
I think you started in T-balls where we started saying all that stuff.
T-ball's hard because it's like 4-year-old soccer, 5-year-old soccer, wherever the ball goes.
38, else does too.
38 kids converge on
exactly.
Didi Gregorius with 2 outs. Crowd standing here at Coors Field. Rockies up 5-1.
Uh-oh. Well, Troy's got a bug issue. See him waving him off his face.
Christian Bergman, Wade Miley tomorrow.
Yeah, get on your feet and enjoy it. The Rockies are playing great at home.
First pitch strike at 94. They talk about it, George, but man, the fountain of youth, LaTroy's got it.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the thing is, he still has the want-to put on a uniform and go play. That's the key. I mean, he's 40 years old that you still want to do. 41 that you're still wanting to put on that uni and walk out on the field and play baseball.
It's pretty nice. We can still throw in the mid-90s. High heat at 95.
Reach back, got a little extra.
All decked out, including the purple glove.
Got it all working. Everybody on those dugout steps. It's nice to shake hands after a game, man. I'm telling you. When you had a season like this, you've avoided 100 losses. Things are going well. You're playing at home. 16-5. You pull this win off today in your last 21. Put a smile on a lot of people's faces.
Oh, and 2 on Gregorius. Ball cut at the last moment a little bit. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And it's fouled off by Gregorius. Troy sitting on 95.
Now he's sitting on getting the last out's what he's wanting right now. How about another swing and miss on a heater in?
That's inside.
I want to go in to get him beat. That's where he did it twice. The fastball's in. Those last couple have cut on him too much to be able to adjust to it.
Latrobe will take a little walk, regather his thoughts. product of Gary, Indiana, and now makes his home north of Dallas. Looks in, has the sign. Here's the 3-2. And it's in the air to Blackman. Pretty well hit. Can Charlie get there? Yes, he can. That'll end the ball game. The Rockies have won 5 straight. LaTroy Hawkins gets the final 3 outs as Eddie Butler gets his first major league victory. Working 6 innings of 1-run baseball, he allowed just 5 hits. He walked 1, struck out 1. Congratulations to Eddie Butler. And Trevor Cahill takes the loss. He's now 3-12. The 5 straight victories, by the way, matches a season best streak for the Rockies. All smiles as they get to shake hands. Time for our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Oh, the work of Eddie Butler today in his second major league start. He induced a number of ground balls, a lot of mishit ground balls. He had 2 double plays turned behind him. He worked 6 efficient innings and again comes up with his first major league victory. Rockies win it this afternoon by a final score of 5-1, out hitting Arizona 11-9. They'll go for the rare 4-game sweep tomorrow afternoon. Time to go out to our set, center field. The Toyota postgame show commences now with Jenny Kapnar. Jenny?
All right, Drew, thanks so much. The Rockies have won their